Yeah, we've never been arrested.
Yeah, we actually met in jail.
Yeah, I actually met 50 in jail. He wanted to go in on this project with us, and we were just like, dude, we don't have time for you and your whole like getting shot thing. It's just us two. The real story of how we met, we were on a train, and it wrecked, and everybody died except for us. We thought, wow, hey, I'm Tyler. He said, I'm Josh. He said, I play the drums. I was like, let's start a band. And pretty much every song that we've written so far has been about how we met.
Do you guys remember the first time you ever met? What was it like?
Oh man, what was it like when we first met?
Okay, well, it's an interesting story.
It is an interesting story.
I was on eBay, and I was looking for new Matchbox cars.
Matchbox cars,
because
right.
I freaking love them.
Well, there's a lot of love that starts online, by the way.
Yeah,
so
that's true, especially eBay.
The truest of loves
Yeah.
start online these
So
days.
he's selling this prime mint condition NASCAR
NASCAR
Matchbox car
Matchbox
that I
car.
wanted, and so I put in a bid, and he said, "Hey, I'm really sorry."
You didn't even come close.
Yeah, that's not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But if we meet up at a Dairy Queen,
Yeah.
I'll get you the Matchbox.
Yeah,
car.
that's what it was.
If you buy me Dairy Queen,
Those
you
were
wanted
the
Coney.
stipulations.
So yeah, I showed up, and what did you say when I got there?
And I was like, here's Matchbox car, but let's start a band instead. And so I threw the Matchbox car away, and we started a band. And most of these songs that we wrote were about that meeting at Dairy Queen. And so what we love to do is every time we're asked how we met, we try to make something up on the spot. When we first met, I just got this new app called Tinder. And I reached out, and I saw Josh. And I was like, hey, that looks like a guy that might look like he wants to play music. And so then I was like, let's play music. And so he Tindered me back, and we started a band, and most of our songs are written about that experience.
It was a weird first date.
I met this guy. I was reacquainted with him at a festival, as I am with every festival.
Hey man,
Tyler, are you?
he's famous. This guy's famous.
Are you
I'm
in the
meeting him
band?
right now.
Are you in the band? 20 Pafoni? Or is it 20?
20, yeah, the Pafonies.
The Pafonies.
How did you guys meet?
That's a good question. It's actually a pretty good story. There was one time where I was thrown into prison. Just it was like a short-term prison sentence. I stole something from a grocery store, and I'm put in like my own cell. And right next to that is like this big, huge guy, tattoos all over his body, and then on the other side of him is Tyler. He was thrown in for murder. So he was in for a little while, and anyway, this guy in between us noticed that I was like hitting stuff on the walls, and he's kind of like playing the piano on the walls. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but he's like, hey, you guys should meet and like be in a band. He didn't sing ever. He's a great singer, but he mostly did air piano.
You can't sing in prison.
No. So he introduced us, and we became great friends, and we decided that we should definitely start a band. Start out as like an air band because you can't have instruments.
Not really a lot of electricity in your cell either.
No, there's not a ton of electricity. Definitely no pianos.
Yeah, and most of the songs that you hear us play are about prison.
The hard life.
Thanks for asking.
And how did you guys kind of form the band? Because you were friends before the band actually formed. What was that kind of process?
Well, what I did is I came up with a test of yes or no questions, and I told Josh that I'd pass this test out to everyone, and whoever scored the highest was going to be in the band. What I didn't tell him is I only gave him the test. Gave him the test, and there were answers. Like, what were some of the questions? You know,
how many times a day do you fall asleep on your bicycle?
Yeah, yes or no questions.
Yeah.
Yes or no.
And it was yes, I do.
Yeah, yes, you do. all
Many
the time.
times.
And then it's just answers like that. I was like, that's the guy I need in my band.
Yeah.
Guy who falls asleep on his bicycle. Is that what he said, bicycle?
Yeah.
How do you fall asleep on your bicycle, by the way?
pretty easy actually.
Do you guys recall how you met originally?
Yeah, it's a great story. It really defines our, our band.
Yeah.
Tell 'em.
So we're playing kickball. So we went to the same local pool.
Yeah.
And we're playing kickball, and it was well known that Tyler and I were the best kickball players, like at the whole pool.
Yeah, we both kind of rose up as like the premier players.
Yeah, but we didn't really know each other. It was just like, oh, okay, well, we're on rest break because you can't swim for 20 minutes or whatever.
Right.
So we just play with all the other athletes of the pool. And there was one day.
One day we're all kind of came.
Yeah.
We stayed away from each other, because he was good at it, and I was good at it. We didn't want to, step on each other's toes. But then one day.
There was one day that Tyler kicked a ball. So hard, it went right over my head. I was in the outfield, into the neighbor's yard.
Yep.
Who had a dog, but it actually just caught the ball and just popped it.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was so amazing that I went up to Tyler and I was just, dude, that was so incredible. And I think we may have hugged at that moment, and because we got passionate about it.
Yeah. And then I think we just were looked at each other hey, let's start a band.
Yeah.
And so that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other story that you told?
Oh, actually, what really happened was we were on a train. We didn't know each other, but the train wrecked, and we were the only two survivors. And we were crawling out of the rubbish, and we thought to ourselves, dude, we gotta start a band.
Yeah.
So then we did.
Right next to each other. We were on the opposite sides of the train when we were traveling.
But by
we
the
ended up
time,
right next to each other.
By the time it wrecked, it was such a bad wreck.
It basically collapsed and folded on top of it.
It was a train sandwich, and we were right there in the middle of that sandwich, but we were unharmed.
Unscathed.
Yeah. Other than I got hit really hard on my face.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't really grow a lot of facial hair like you can.
I got a huge scar on my arm, and that's really what actually this is from. It's like a burn.
Yeah, so that's how we met.
If you could collaborate with someone, is there anyone you have in mind for the future, or if you could just collaborate with anyone?
I do have someone in mind. Just gotta find them.
I just have to find them.
Yeah, I'd love. There's this drummer. Can you imagine if I just came up with a different drummer?
Yeah. Drummer.
There's just this drummer in this other band. I would do anything
It's just gonna work
to collaborate with that drummer because
forever.
right now I'm really feeling
Yeah, there's a couple lead singer / keyboard / synth / ukulele / tambourine players out there that I've really been wanting to work with a lot.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You know what, man?
You know what that man?
I don't know about that, man.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. We might collaborate with somebody at some point. Dude, cheers.
You know what? I want to collaborate with you.
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. To another
Collab.
few years.
We just clink.